Welcome to this explainer on the escalating threat of extreme heat. Today, we're taking some truly alarming global climate data and translating it into an urgent, highly practical survival guide. Whether you're a seasoned outdoor worker or honestly just someone trying to keep your apartment livable this summer, this information is absolutely vital. So let's just dive right into it.
489,000. Let that sink in for a second. That is the staggering approximate number of annual heat-related deaths worldwide between 2000 and 2019, based on data from the World Health Organization. Heat stress isn't just uncomfortable anymore. It's a leading cause of weather-related deaths, and it fundamentally exacerbates underlying conditions like cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And if we zoom in on Europe alone, 61,672. It is honestly mind-blowing to think that this was the number of excess heat-related deaths during just the summer of 2022. It goes to show that even moderate intensity heat waves can acutely impact large populations and trigger sudden public health emergencies. This is no longer just a tropical issue, it's happening everywhere, and it is happening fast. To actually prevent a crisis, we've got to understand the mechanics of it. It's kind of fascinating when you think about it. Your body regulates its temperature through a biological process called thermoregulation. You can think of it exactly like a high-performance radiator in a car. When you get hot, your brain signals your sweat glands to release moisture. And as that moisture evaporates, it literally carries the heat away from your skin, cooling the whole system down. But there are three specific ways this biological radiator fails. First, you simply run out of coolant, meaning you're dehydrated and you just lack the fluids to produce sweat. Second, the environment around you is so humid that your sweat has nowhere to evaporate to. It just sits there on your skin, trapping the heat inside. And third, your core temperature is rising way faster than your body can shed the heat, either through physical exertion or sheer environmental temperature. Okay, understanding the difference between exhaustion and stroke is easily the most important takeaway of this entire explanator. Heat exhaustion is your body's warning light. You'll see heavy sweating, pale or clammy skin, weakness, and nausea. Basically, your body's trying desperately to cool down. Heat stroke, on the other hand, that is a life-threatening medical emergency. It happens when the radiator completely shuts down. The body stops sweating entirely, the skin becomes red, hot, and dry, and the person might experience severe confusion or even a seizure. If a person's body temperature passes 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 40 degrees Celsius, they enter severe hyperthermia. At this temperature, the actual enzymes in your body begin to fail. This requires immediate 911 or 999 medical intervention to prevent organ failure and permanent damage. Seriously, you cannot wait. What if you catch it early? Well, if you spot the signs of heat exhaustion, you have a critical 30-minute window to cool the person down before it escalates into a full-blown stroke. We can systematically follow these 4 exact steps from the NHS. First, immediately move them to a cool, preferably air-conditioned place. Second, strip away any unnecessary clothing. Jackets, thick socks, get rid of them. Third, get them drinking plenty of water or an isotonic sports drink to replace those lost salts. And fourth, cool their skin directly. Spray them with water, use cold packs under the armpits, or get a fan on them. If they don't improve in 30 minutes, you must call for emergency help. Now let's pivot to prevention, because prevention is always better than first aid, right? And let's bust a really dangerous myth while we're at it. You should only use an electric fan when temperatures are below 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. Why? Because if the air around you is actually hotter than your body temperature, a fan acts exactly like a convection oven. Yep, your fan might actually be cooking you, blowing hot air directly onto your skin and heating your body up instead of cooling it down. So, instead of just blindly running fans, use these proactive steps. During the peak heat of the day, close your windows and pull down the blinds to block that direct sunlight. Turn off your central heating, the oven, and any electronics you aren't using. If you're lucky enough to have AC, set it to 81 degrees Fahrenheit and pair it with a fan. It'll make the room feel much cooler while saving you energy. Finally, wait until nightfall when the outside air is cooler than the inside air, and then throw open your windows to flush all that trapped heat out. But what if your home lacks air conditioning and becomes a literal heat trap? Please do not wait until you feel sick. Proactively seek out designated local cooling centers, places of worship, or air-conditioned public spaces like a shopping mall or a library. Spending just 2 to 3 hours a day in an air-conditioned space can significantly reduce your core body temperature and reset that internal radiator we talked about. On a personal level, remember to drink at least 1 cup of water every single hour. Don't wait until you're thirsty. By then, you are already dehydrated. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothes to get some airflow over your skin. Always use a buddy system to check on older adults or anyone living alone, because statistically, they're at the highest risk. And a super vital warning for parents: never, ever cover an infant stroller with a dry blanket or fabric to block the sun. It drastically cuts off airflow and literally turns the stroller into a greenhouse. If you have to cover it, use a wet, thin cloth instead. I want to leave you with this final thought. As heat waves become our new normal, is your community prepared to beat the heat? Understanding the biology of heat and knowing the difference between exhaustion and stroke is step 1. But actively applying these safety protocols, like checking on a neighbor, properly cooling your home, and recognizing exactly when to call emergency services, that could literally save a life. The climate is shifting for sure, but our habits and our preparedness can shift faster. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay cool and please stay safe out there.